Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our 1-year anniversary podcast.
That's crazy.
I know. Mom's in the Move. I'm Jen Wells.
And I'm Ashley Steigerwald.
I know. Can you believe this?
It doesn't feel like a year. It doesn't feel like a year.
It doesn't?
No. You feel like we've been doing this forever?
I feel like it's been a year. It's just been yeah. I kind of feel like it's, well, I don't know. It's not that we filmed that much.
No.
But I think this past year feels long.
Yeah, but when you say like we've been doing the podcast for a year, if you had asked me like how long were you doing it, I'd be like, I don't know, like 6 months. That's
Right.
probably what I would say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say a whole year.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
I did bring us something.
You did? Yes, you did.
Well, first, this is here.
Yay!
I thought I was going to have the little smash button.
Smash.
1 year.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah. Look.
Aww.
Probably like lukewarm. But I brought, if you're only listening, I brought us some champagne.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know
I'll
what
be
is
in
it.
a real good mood. I have a closing at 12.
Oh my God, you can't drink before closing.
You just have a little sip.
Oh my
to
God.
Celebrate.
Please don't hit your eye. Maybe it's just I'm married to an eye doctor, but I have an irrational fear of popping champagne based on stories I've heard from him of people literally losing their eyeballs.
I've never actually popped champagne.
Anxiety. Oh, that was so uneventful. How long has that been in your car for?
It's been a little while.
Is it still bubbly?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but it didn't pop. That's so random. Here, I'll do it.
Well, it's not a popper. It was a screw off.
Okay, but I still wanted a little, little sound effect action. Can we edit that in?
Yeah.
Got you. He said,
Cheers.
cheers.
Yay.
Yay.
So fun.
All right.
So what was your favorite episode?
Oh, God, I knew you were going to ask that. Man, that's a really, really hard one.
I know. I had a hard time, too.
What's yours? We'll start there since I need to think about it.
So I think the addiction one was really good in terms of, like, feedback.
Yep.
And then it's funny because my nephew, he was just in this like horrible accident, but right before that, my mother-in-law told me that he had tuned in to the acceptance one and the bullying one and that he loved them. So I don't know, for some reason that just means a lot.
Yeah.
So probably like the bullying one.
Okay. Same for that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really hard question. I think I get little like nuggets from every single episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are times I'm driving back and I was like, wow, I really, boom, something from that episode really hit me. And I had to go home and like really think about it.
The wine one hit me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Michelle? Or,
yeah, with Michelle Porterfield.
Oh, tell me about that.
As I'm drinking my champagne. No, I think it was just like when everything she was saying about like a routine, getting into a routine with your drinking. And I mean, it just made me think like, oh, is that where I'm like headed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, is that what it's going to look like if I,
Yeah.
But that was one of those that probably, and then the swim one.
Yeah. The swim rescue, if you didn't catch that one, we had a really, she was brave and transparent and open, but she had lost her son to, he had drowned in the family pool. Mm-hmm. And now she works to just spread the message of how important it is to get swim lessons for your kids.
Yeah.
And just how common it is. And, that one was a tough one. Yeah. A tough one, but I hope somebody watched it and went and signed their kid up for swim lessons.
Right.
That's it.
I know.
And that we remember her and we remember her son. I think that's really important. Yep. That was a hard one.
It was.
Yes.
But there's been a lot of good ones. Like,
and we had some fun ones.
We've met great people.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
said that the other day. I was like, we have met the coolest people.
Yes, absolutely. The sleep doctor,
yes.
Dr. Nani, I loved that episode.
I know.
I use the word sleep hygiene all the time now. Like, my kids are like, I don't want to go to bed. I was like, you have to have good sleep hygiene.
Yes. Lights off at 7:30.
Yes.
Her and the recent one we did, I really enjoyed. Lindsay Deloach Jones.
Yes.
I don't know. She was just very insightful and real.
Oh, and I want more.
Me too.
That was how I left that episode.
Same.
And then went and looked at like the books. A couple people pitched books, and I went back and like, oh, what are their books about? I was like, I need all of these books.
Yes.
Yes.
I know. So I feel like we're just meeting really cool people. That's probably been my favorite part of all of this.
Yes. Yes.
And then I also get to get dressed up for free.
With the booties, the white.
Thank God for Sally from Southern Girl Chic, where I'd have a meltdown every day in my closet, being like, what do I wear?
Or you can just wear the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I could.
So do you feel like you've changed as a person at all since doing this?
Yes,
Okay.
actually. Mm-hmm. I think, and I don't know if it's just like age a little bit.
The whole year? One whole year?
Like, or just becoming more like confident.
Mm. Yeah.
And comfortable, because I did go out of my comfort zone so much.
Yeah.
Like, so much. So I feel like that.
In what way did you get out of your comfort zone?
Putting myself out there. Like, letting myself be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, I feel like I crossed a path.
Mm-hmm.
And before, like, it was funny. So I joined a new work.
Mm-hmm. A new work, yep.
I moved my real estate company, and yesterday was my first meeting I went to, and I had to, like, talk in front of people.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't turn bright red and sweaty.
Oh, okay. So it was a fear of, like, public speaking?
Yes.
Okay.
Attention, any of it. Just, like, talking in front of anyone just got me sweaty.
And now, not so much.
No, now I feel like I've gotten more comfortable.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but that's just really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, trying to just go for it.
Yeah. Taking the big jump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that was a common theme in going back and kind of reviewing a lot of our episodes was vulnerability, being able to put yourself out there to talk about uncomfortable topics that a lot of people are dealing with or a lot of people are working through, but nobody really wants to talk about it out loud.
Right.
I've always, and I have a really hard time with small talk.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in a room with people I don't know and it's like, hey, where do you work? What do you do? And I'm just, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like the small talk. I'm more like, hi, we just met. Like, do you have childhood trauma that we can get into?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I just, like, what are your values? Or like, what was the last great book you read? I don't. And I think it's my like craving for deeper relationships versus kind of the surface level superficial. So I saw that coming out in some of the podcasts, but I think the thing that I related to with just so many of our guests was they just put themselves out there. Mm-hmm. You know, the gallivanter, you know, just deciding this isn't a hobby for me. This is something that I'm really good at, and people are going to pay for my paintings. Or, you know, just so many of these people. Dr. White was just fantastic, and I loved the verse.
I loved him.
I know. Dr. White's amazing.
Dr. White. I had some very funny comments from people after the sex episode.
And if you missed on our Facebook page, Scheduled Sex
brought
to
God.
you by Andy Foffel with Network Funding.
Hey, if you want to sponsor us, we'll get you some great advertising.
It was the snippet, and it was Scheduled Sex ? Exclamation point, and at the bottom it said brought to you by Andy Foffel with Network Funding.
And his wife started getting a lot of comments. Like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was like, oh my God,
I'm so sorry.
I'll take it down. She's like,
no, please don't.
It's great. Oh, yeah.
But even Jennifer, Andy Foffel is one of our sponsors for Network Funding, and he's just a funny guy. And his wife and her sister have kind of joined our Moms on the Move group, and they're just hilarious.
They are.
It's some of these people in the group, I know they're friends that I know personally, and some of the people in the Moms on the Move group on Facebook, I have no idea who they are, but I'm like, you don't even know it, but you're my best friend.
I agree. Sometimes I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
No, but they're
hilarious.
Yes.
I know.
I love that. It's become a little like group where people are okay with talking about the things that a lot of us are experiencing, but we're not talking about with other people.
Yeah, I know. I think the whole base of this, point of this is like we're not perfect.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I know.
And that's good. Thank God. It would be boring if we were all perfect. That just, to me, sounds terrible.
I mean,
sounds
I
terrible.
strive for that, but
I don't. I don't. I've had to work on my perfectionist tendencies, and my motto is progress over perfection. And a friend of mine
you always have good, like,
catchphrases,
yes,
one-liners.
One-liners.
I'm big on
catchphrases.
one-liners. Yeah, I'm big
Yes.
on one-liners because if you take really complex, big ideas and if you can break it down into something that you can pop in your head and remind yourself of, then you're utilizing it. Versus, like, for a long time, I would read all of these great books and have all these wonderful ideas, but then not actually implement any of the good ideas
Right.
into my life. And then, so what was the point of that? So yeah, I do. I am. You're right. I'm a fan of the one-liners.
You said the other day with the loggerhead and gallivanter,
Yeah.
you were talking about when you freeze.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I don't remember.
Oh my God. It was another one of your phrases.
Oh.
I forget.
Oh, I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. I know. Now I feel like the pressure to have a good one-liner on every episode.
What's your best one-liner?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. That's so
oh my
much
God,
pressure.
I do the progress over perfection a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Because I will obsess over an email or a post or something like that, and I will edit 127 times and realize I could have just sent the email and that nobody cares, and I just wasted 45 minutes of my life. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've grown?
Yeah, I do. I think it's, I'm always a fan of stopping to appreciate, or trying to stop and appreciate other people's journeys.
Yeah.
And trying to keep that in mind of when I meet somebody new, that they have an entire whole life. Like they have people they love, they have people that love them, they have good times, they have hard times, they have sorrow, they have suffering, they have joy. And it's never assuming, and for me, I put up a post recently that was talking about gatekeeping. And I don't know why, but that hit me really hard of we as women gatekeep a lot of our social circles. Meaning...
Oh, wait. I think I did see that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if somebody doesn't look like what the
saw
rest
that.
of our friends look like, if somebody doesn't live in the neighborhood where the rest of our friends live, if they don't drive the similar car to what we and our friends, that we gatekeep our social circles. And I think we're doing ourselves a lot of harm by doing that, because there's a plethora of experiences out there that we could all learn from. And I think the podcast has really reminded me of everybody's just general humanity a little bit, and to dig deeper for everybody's story first and foremost.
Someone just put a post up about if you got to know everyone, you would like everyone. Maybe, but like if you judge them on the surface, it's so much easier not to like someone.
Yeah.
But if you actually get to know them deeply.
It's very, and we've talked about this in other episodes before, where we tend to, it's very, very easy to want to put a label, because then you can dehumanize people.
Yes.
You are this political party. You are this religion. You are, and when you do that, it's not, you are Jennifer Wills, realtor mom. It's
8 Enneagram.
8 oh my God, yes, you are. But it's easy to then pull away from people's humanity because there's a label there. And I think this podcast has really pushed me to take a minute to look at the humanity versus the easy, fast labels that you can put on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your kids watch it?
No.
No.
Oh my God, they'd be so bored.
Yeah, you're right.
They would be so embarrassed. And
I didn't know if you we had to hide the snippets of like Dr. White's last episode if they could see that.
Oh, none of my kids would touch Facebook.
Okay, good.
Trips on Insta, but I seriously doubt I'm in his algorithm. I just don't meet the parameters for a 15-year-old boy's algorithm, hopefully. So no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Chris like sort of watches, but then he like gets, I don't know, like uncomfortable. I don't know how to.
Bill listens to every episode.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you, Bill.
I know. He listens to every episode. I know my mother-in-law listens to every episode.
Yep.
Yep.
I know. I feel like we have our
Or 5 people that listen to the
all the
podcast.
time. We're going to send you guys gifts.
We're going to find you.
We're going to find you.
We're going to find you. Do your kids listen to it?
No.
I was like, they're super young.
They ask about it, though.
Really?
Yes. Braden will be like, Mom, do you have a podcast or work if I'm dressed up at all?
This is work, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't wear this to work, though.
Oh, really?
I mean, I would, but
I can imagine you showing houses in that.
it depends if you're a new client.
It's so true.
It's so true.
So true. The first time you meet a client, you got to
You're
get
like,
get it
"Hey."
all out, and then after like the 4th or 5th house. But I also so I see other agents sometimes, and they're wearing like the stiletto heels, and they're going to show a house, and I'm like, how? Because I get all up in the house, like. If they've got the shower curtain closed, it's getting open.
Yep.
Like we are gonna look in the crawl space. Like we are gonna get up in the attic. Like I get all up in the house. I get sweaty. I don't know how people show houses in like heels and pretty clothes. It doesn't work for me.
One time I was showing a house and I had my heels on and it was like an old house, so it had the crate on the bottom, like the air.
Oh, the air vent, the floor.
Yeah, it got stuck. My whole foot was like, I was like, you guys go ahead. I've got this. And I didn't know them well enough for it to be like funny.
Like, I'll be right
I'll
here.
be
I'm just
right-
checking this thing up here. Keep going.
I did this on purpose for a good look.
Yeah. One of it was early on in real estate, and I went to go show a house, and it was like, take your shoes off at the door. Don't do that.
No, I agree.
I mean, like if you have brand new carpet or something, but if you've got like dogs, that's the thing that drives me crazy. It's like, take your shoes off, and they have dogs.
Right.
And I'm like, oh God. But anyway, it was new construction. It was a flip. It wasn't even new construction. It was a flip. And I walked 3 paces in and I step on a nail. And it was a small nail. It wasn't huge, but it went in, and it was the first time with the clients. And I'm like, y'all just go ahead. And they're like, are you okay? I was like, I'm fine. And I'm like stepping on my heel so I don't push the nail in further. And there's blood coming down from my foot. Like, I'm totally fine. Just keep going. And I'm like, Bill, when was the last time I got a tetanus shot? Like,
I would have like fainted and crumbled on the floor.
I know. But
Oh,
so you made the big jump.
I did.
You did.
Big news.
Big news.
No, I'm not pregnant.
I know. We were going to label this episode. I was like, we can do it like Jen's got a big announcement. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh my God, everybody's going to think she's pregnant.
She's going to be so depressed.
Not pregnant.
No, not pregnant. I can't handle my 3.
Yeah. Can you get pregnant again?
No,
Okay.
because, well,
I didn't know.
we made that not possible.
Okay. I don't want to get too personal.
But
I'm just
then
curious.
also because I had hemorrhaged,
That's
they
right.
were like,
Dangerous.
don't.
Danger zone.
Don't
Beep,
do that.
beep, beep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, so I moved real estate
Yes.
companies,
Yep.
which everyone was very shocked by.
Yep. And so we'll be updating. You'll see there should be new graphics. There's going to be a little bit new coloration going on. So it'll be same faces, slightly different colors. Yeah, color wheels going on.
Yep. So I'm over at Nest Realty now. They're
Yep.
off of Stone Avenue.
Yep.
And Corinne Nichols, she's just sweet as could be. I love her.
And we want to show everybody that you can be in 2 different real estate brokerages and still be friends
Yes.
and still do a podcast. Because
Exactly.
there's an abundance. There's abundance. There's enough business
Yeah.
for the good agents out there,
Agreed.
not for all the agents out there.
Agreed. Agreed.
There are a lot of agents in Greenville. There are a lot of agents.
There's so many.
At one point, there were more agents than there were
Listings.
active listings on the
Yeah.
MLS.
I know. That's not good.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
But yeah, so I made that move, and it was one of those, like, I think decisions that was so hard because you have like one argument in your head and you're like, if it's not broke, you know, and the grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
And then the other flip side is just like, this is my gut feeling. Like, I'm just following what my gut is telling me to do right now. But then there's the brain part, and then there's your heart.
That grass is greener argument always, I find that just very interesting. So before we moved here, Bill was at a private practice in Virginia, and there was a promise of a buy-in. And it was a very, very, very successful practice, multiple locations. He would have been making a lot of money, a lot of money. But he was working late nights. He was working Saturdays. It would be like his late night was for Monday, and he would leave in the morning before Tripp got up. It was just Tripp at the time. He would leave in the morning before Tripp got up, and then in the evenings, he would get home after Tripp had already gone to sleep. So Tripp would physically not see him all day on Monday, and then I think Thursdays were the other late days. So 2 days a week, Tripp didn't see him at all. And then he would only get one, I think, Saturday off a month. And it was we talked about this with Lindsay Cash, Dr. Lindsay Cash, the dentist, but it was very profit-driven practice.
Yep.
And so when we made the decision to take the job here, where he has very, very stable hours, no late nights, no Saturdays, that was the argument that the practice owner in Virginia gave us. He was like, you know what, the grass isn't always greener. And I was like, oh, God, are we making a huge mistake?
I know. And then you question yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I make the right decision? And same, it was a gut
And am I
decision.
going to go into this next role and fail? That was a big one. Am I going to I'm doing fine where I'm at. Am I going to go and just fail?
Yeah. But I think that's where you draw out worst case scenarios. And because I played this out with one of the other agents who was kind of dealing with an issue. Very long story short, they're on the list side, and the buyers are just being a pain. And I said, okay, let's draw this worst case scenario out to the end. This is a good practice. I do this with a lot of things. Okay, what is the absolute worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is the buyer cancels the contract. Okay, well, do they have the right to the earnest money? No. I was like, okay, so either seller gets the earnest money or y'all squabble over it, but you'll probably get a portion of it, enough to probably pay your mortgage for a month. And then what? You put the house back on the market tomorrow and you get another buyer? So is the worst case scenario really that bad?
Right.
So I find when you walk the worst case scenario all the way to the end, it's usually not nearly as bad as we straw man it in our head.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario is you move. And with the move, there's always a chance that you lose a little business, right? Somebody goes looking for you at one place and you're at another place. Or, people are like, well, why did they do this and move there? But you were successful where you were before. You'll be successful where you are. You want a one-liner?
Yes.
You want my one-liner?
I do.
I don't even know where I picked this up, but I picked it up somewhere. But I have to remind myself this sometimes when you feel like you're working really, really hard and not making progress, that I tell myself it is impossible for somebody who works this hard not to be successful.
Ooh.
And I tell myself that all the time. It is impossible for somebody who works this hard to not be successful.
Yeah.
And I get a little antsy on the hard work mantra that some people have, if you just work hard, success will come. I don't believe that's true. Yeah. But I believe consistent hard work will produce results. Sometimes that's 6 months, sometimes that's 7 years.
With a lot of frustration.
But consistency, I think, is the most important thing, and you're consistent.
Yes.
Yep.
I know. I feel like that's what I am. I'm like, even Steven.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I know.
The military says slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yep.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Hold on, I have to think
Slow
about that.
is
Smooth.
Smooth is, slow is smooth, and smooth is ultimately fast.
Yeah.
So sometimes you feel like you're going slow, but if it's smooth, you'll pick up speed.
Yep.
I said the same thing when I first heard that. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, hold on.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just super common, especially if you're a parent. You're just like, should I make a move? Is this the responsible thing? What are the repercussions of this?
Trying to find schools for your kids. I felt like that was oh my God, what middle school do we pick? Because if I don't pick the right middle school, they're never going to get into college. And I'm like, that's insanity.
Yes.
Stop.
You just spiral. You just go. You just spiral.
But we're not the only ones. I feel
No, that's why we're like, we should talk about how I just moved because, I mean, again, it's just pros and cons. But anyway, I had to redo my photos. That was not fun, let me tell you. Literally, probably one of the biggest reasons I didn't want to move was because I did not want to redo my photos. That was the best photo that had ever been taken of me in my life.
Your original headshot? Yeah. Oh, same with mine. People
So,
are,
like,
we've talked
there's
about this.
no
People are
duplicate-
disappointed when they meet me.
Yes. No duplicating that. And this one, they were like, we're going to go outside. So I had to be outside. Do you want to know the temperature?
Please.
92 degrees at 3 p.m.
Sweaty
Okay?
armpits.
I had my foot, which was just injured. So I was hobbling around. Braden, my 4-year-old, was behind the camera.
Oh, no.
Pounding sticks
I would not be able to
near
concentrate.
this river covered in Cheetos. And then the sun was just beating down on me. So I had like the drippy back.
Yep.
And it was going down my back.
Ugh.
And I was so sweaty.
Yep.
So I got him back. Like, you need to pick a long side body one. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
No.
No.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that, especially if you're in 92-degree heat with a small Cheeto child behind you.
Nobody wants the
Nobody
full
wants
side.
that.
No.
So then they were like, well, this is what we have to do. And I was like, they probably think I'm such a jerk. I was like, no. I'm not sending it. I'm not doing it. So I'm supposed to redo it again this week.
You're so drama. So
I'm
drama.
not sending
What's
it.
that? What's that TikTok? Am I the drama? Is it me? I almost sent
Not
that.
me.
I almost sent that to you after you sent me that text. I was like, am I the drama? It's not me, is it? Yes, it is.
I have a feeling at work they're like, oh, dear God. Who did we bring it? But
Oh, excuse me.
I don't like that angle.
I have to smile. I need the light right here.
Can you bring in a fan?
Beyonce again.
Yeah. So anyway, if I put a
Avion spray. Avion spray. Who has the Avion spray?
no,
the
that
water-
makes you more sweaty looking.
Oh, well, you need the glisten.
I mean, even my sister and my mom, my mom is always like, "You look great." Like no matter
Even mom
what.
was like, no.
"Oh yeah," they were like, "You look a little hot." And I was like, I was hot. I was really hot. And my sister was just straight up like, that's a terrible angle of you. I was like, I know. It's so true. I love when people are blunt.
You look hot. No, not that kind of hot. Like physically
No, like
hot.
physically, like you might pass out. There's a pool of sweat underneath your body.
I love picking
So.
up little phrases from, like, I love our Southern folks here, and I love the way they phrase stuff sometimes. But I recently heard somebody went into a house and it was like just crazy wallpaper and colors, and it was like, oh, that was very stimulating. It's a good one. I'm gonna have to file
Yeah.
that. Yep.
I like my neighbor says, we joke because now I started to say it. If like we're ready for the other person to leave, you say, y'all come back now.
Just randomly.
Yeah.
Like they get there like,
Thanks
hey,
for,
here's
y'all come back now.
That's what I'm gonna do if you ever show up at my house. Y'all come back. Just through the door. I'm gonna yell
Wait,
it at
what?
you. Y'all come back through the ring. I'm not even
I
gonna
still
come out.
haven't showed up on our doorstep,
Don't
guys.
do it. Don't do it.
It's been a year of this.
Somebody, and I'm gonna throw this. Oh God, I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings. Somebody showed up at the house recently,
Ooh.
and they're like friends of ours, and they were in the neighborhood, and they showed up, and Bill went out because I was like, nope. And Bill pokes his head, and they're like, they want to say hi, and I was like, nope. Boundaries.
Not saying hi to
Boundaries. Nobody shows up at my house without at least a text first. Like, I was just like, no. And Bill's like, you're really not going to come out? I was like, no, I'm not. And I did not go out.
That is hilarious.
And it's nothing to do with them. For me, it's just like,
Well, can I tell you that hilarious text, which is just my favorite thing
Which?
ever?
oh no.
So I'm not going to timestamp this at all, but I had a text message from her of her sitting in her car.
Yes.
And she's like, I've been in the car now for 48 minutes. Someone's at my house and I don't want to go
I
home.
could see it on the ring cam. It was somebody else who had randomly stopped by, and Bill was out there
It was like
talking
at that
with
point, like 9.
It was like-
You're like, I'm just driving.
I was parked down the street in the neighborhood watching the ring cam, texting Bill like, get them out. I want to come home. And Bill's like, just come home. And I'm like, no, I've had a long day. I can't smile at anybody else right now. I need you to get them to leave.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
When I hit my like people limit, I hit my people limit, and I just start to like physically shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad always says that about me. He's like same personality as me. Like we joke. You were talking about small talk.
Yeah.
So we always joke when we go see our extended family. Sorry, extended family, if you're listening.
We're putting it all out today.
Yeah. But we're always like, hey, how are you? Good. How are you? How are your kids? Good. How's school? Good. How's work? Good. The end. I'm going to go get a drink now. Like, and then you move on to the next person.
You should really. Oh, no. You have a new Thanksgiving goal. It's going to be like, how are you? And it's be like, I'm dealing with anxiety,
depression.
My
foot hurts.
And I have low sexual libido. Like, really just put it out there and just see people's reactions. Like,
they're going to go get a drink now.
I know. It's like, how are you? It's like, sometimes at night, I wonder if my drinking's getting into a routine. See what they say.
Yeah. Michelle Porterfield actually made me question myself.
Did she? Good. I mean, well, I think that's a good thing. I think everybody should, at some point, like, question the little things you do. And especially with the drinking, or like we talked about the low sexual libido stuff.
And let me explain, because I feel like everyone's like, whoa, this girl has a problem.
No.
It's like 2 to 3 glasses, but like 4 nights a week.
But it's the routine. But
it's like the routine. And then.
But why do we have to question?
I didn't do that before Bo was born.
Okay.
So I look at it like that. Like.
But why can't we question it?
Yeah, no, I know.
You know, like, why do we have to wait until it is a problem?
On the flip side, I'm like, but, like, I am stressed. So I guess that's just making an argument to myself.
But
like, yeah, I didn't.
But you already feel a stigma about even talking about this. You're starting to roll back, and I think that's the problem. Is it's if you even question it, if you then. If you're having a relationship problem and you don't want to have an open conversation with your spouse until you haven't slept in the same bed for 9 months.
Right.
If you're having 2 glasses of wine at night and you're not supposed to question that, or else you have an alcohol problem, but we can't question it until you get a DUI or something.
Right.
Like, why in society do we make it that you can't even begin to explore yourself or your habits until there's a problem?
Yeah, and I think that's why I appreciated that podcast.
Yeah.
Because it was like her bringing up the gray zone.
If you're even questioning it, then, or if it even hits you a little bit, why not just at least investigate it? And even if you're at the end like, no, I'm good, that's fine. But we should all be questioning any of our habits.
Right. Agreed.
To see, are they really serving our life the best? And if they're not, letting go and adding new, more productive habits. And if they are, that's great.
Yeah.
But I think that's to me so fantastic that if somebody watches one of our episodes and says, I'm just going to investigate this about myself a little bit more, and they learn about themselves, or they make a decision for a better habit, or they decide to go out and do something that they're afraid to do, holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I know. I love hearing, I know we have to like wrap this up, but like I love hearing from people that are just like, happy we're talking about stuff that we normally, and we're being honest about it. So I think that's been probably the best thing, is like the vulnerability. So anyway, I wanted to real quick, we have like plans for Moms on the Move. We are going to hire 2 people. Should I talk about this?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we're hiring 2 people to help us. David Hawkins,
which is, I'm not a like ask for help type person.
Yeah.
So I think this is a big thing to say. We're getting overwhelmed. So in order to prevent burnout, we're gonna do the thing and ask for help.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. So he is gonna start
helping us find good guests.
Yes.
Yeah.
Helping us find the talent. Yeah. As he said.
The talent. I love that.
He's giving himself a real fancy title, and I asked him to clarify what he wanted to be called this morning. He didn't answer us yet. He said he wanted to give himself a real good title.
Okay, that works.
And then we also have somebody who's going to be doing like weekly Eblasts and connecting us within the community. So look for that. But we're very excited. And again, just kind of taking some off of our plate and letting us build with help.
Yes, absolutely. With help. Scaling. And I think it's important to, like, a huge thank you to all of our sponsors this whole year.
Seriously.
Andy Foffel, help me, Amanda
Leisa.
McCall with Prime Lending.
Yep.
Andy Foffel, Network Funding.
Yep, Leisa Johnson.
Yep. Fairway Mortgage.
Um,
Parham Smith
Brooke,
and Archenhold.
well, it's Brooke Archenhold.
Brooke.
Well, it's Brooke Archenhold.
Yeah,
She's the one that kind of she's an attorney at Parham Smith Archenhold and just kind of a big help with us on our sponsorship.
Yep.
But she also owns Blackacre Closing.
Yep.
So they both sponsor us. But a special shout out to Brooke. Blake, hi. He probably don't listen to this, but he's the other attorney there. But yeah, so we are very grateful to our sponsors.
Yeah, and I'm still like shocked, like people like want to sponsor us.
I know. I know, it's weird.
It is, but I'm so thankful.
Because I feel like I remember our meeting at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Vividly.
Yeah.
And we were like, want to do a podcast? What?
And I was like, sure. And then you're like, it's a video podcast. And I was like, no.
And I was like, yes.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest out of my comfort zone thing was doing the video portion of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Made me extremely uncomfortable at first. Mm-hmm. And then what you don't see in the studio is right behind the cameras, there's a giant television. And
yes,
so when I would do
horrible.
the podcast, I just pretend it's not there. And that made it better.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you walk in, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm all right. And then you sit down, and you're like, no, not true. I am not all right. I am disgusting.
These cameras are too close. HD technology is the worst.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But thank you to all of our sponsors. It's been an incredible year.
I know.
And so we've got lots of new stuff coming up for everybody. We got a brainstorming session after this.
Yep. And if you guys ever want to hear a certain topic or if you're interested in sponsoring us, we have more sponsorship opportunities coming up because of Julia coming on to help us with all of that.
Yep.
So anyway, we really want to thank you for your continued support.
Cheer to a year. Cheer to a year.
To a year.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next time.